Do you condemn what Hamas did?
Do you support Hamas?
After October 7, the million-dollar question and the key talking point for Western journalists and commentators was, do you condemn Hamas? Renowned Jewish professor Norman Finkelstein explained why he refuses to condemn Hamas.
You ask me why I won't condemn them. Because those young men were born into a concentration camp.
Finkelstein's refusal to condemn Hamas drew the attention of many. He explained his reasoning on several online programs and brought up the story of Nat Turner as an analogy. Turner was an enslaved black man in the US who led a slave revolt in 1831. Turner, along with his supporters, killed some 50 to 60 white slave owners as well as their wives and children. Some people thought that parallels could be drawn with Hamas and its actions today. Jewish American host Katie Halper had this to say about these parallels.
Posting about the deaths of Israelis while having said nothing about the systemic killing of Palestinians is like posting about the deaths of Nat Turner's victims while having said nothing about the violence of slavery.
History is filled with examples of armed struggles for liberation. Native Americans used armed resistance against white settlers in the 17th century during the violent formation of the United States, in what is now referred to as the American Indian Wars. The 18th century Haitian Revolution against European colonization and slavery claimed the lives of thousands of white settlers and soldiers, while the Algerian War of Independence between 1954 and 1962 claimed the lives of an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 French settlers, in addition to even more French and British soldiers. Another question must also be answered. Should settlers be considered civilians? While the United Nations recognizes the right of a people to self-determination and self-defense against a foreign occupation, international law doesn't permit combatants to attack civilians who are not taking an active part in occupation. In the case of Palestinians, armed resistance groups and their supporters point out that settlements in areas officially recognized as occupied Palestinian territory are illegal under international law. And Israel not only uses these illegal residential settlements as military outposts, but also turns a blind eye to Jewish settler violence. When Piers Morgan asked Hussam Zomlot, Palestinian ambassador to the UK, the famous question, "Do you condemn Hamas?" the ambassador refused to answer the question and had this to say.
Because the moment I accept your question is the moment I accept we are the instigators of violence. We are the aggressors. Yes, you are.
I've been giving Palestinians platforms, including you, all week, right?
But when Israelis were harmed, you see, this is what I'm telling you. Why didn't you bring Palestinians when hundreds, thousands of Palestinians are killed by settler militias?